And this was basically the question that I got from James Smith. Where do I find financial information? And I just put in parentheses for free. James actually didn't ask that, but I think that for all new investors and for just for investors in general, if we can get the same information for free, that's even better. So this is Morningstar's homepage, and this is where I find a lot of my initial information when I dig into companies. So say that you want to look at Disney, and you can just type in Disney up here in the quote, and you will find that top one here. Now what you see here is that you have a lot of different things. The main thing I would like to look at is the key ratios. I think that at a later point of time I might be digging into all of the different key ratios. What I would leave you with for now is that this is the main overview of the last 10 years. So you can see that up here, for instance, this is from 2014, and this 09 just means September, and this is just when they closed the books. So you can see here from 2014 and the last 10 years how the revenue has been, the gross margin, and so on. And I think that's a really neat start to start all the investigation for stocks. So first I would take a close look at the key ratios, and then I would take a closer look at the financial statements. And up here you can select between the income statement, balance sheet, and the cash flow, which is the three main financial statements. I will not go through all of them, but I would just say that it's really neat that you have 5 years where you can look back. As you can see here, if you are a member to Morningstar, you have the chance to look at the last 10 years. I often find that useful, but just for simplicity, you can see here for the last 5 years. And one thing that I really like to do is use this one up here. So this is for everything in percentage. So it can be somewhat hard to look just at numbers, but if you have this in percentage, this is a real neat tool in terms of, for instance, looking at the gross profit. And just really briefly, for instance, for Disney right now, since this in percentage, we can see here that the gross profit has increased a lot here in 2014. So I think that is just much easier to investigate a company doing that, and I can just for simplicity just show how it looked before, and it's harder to read it now. So I hope that was useful. So this was just really fast where I find the information. So there's a lot more to be said, of course, but if you look at the key ratios to begin with, and then the three financial statements, I think you're off to a really good start. So after we have been looking at Morningstar, I think that you should start to dig into the 10K and 10Q. 10Q is just the quarterly report, and 10K that's the annual report. But the reason why you should be digging into this 10Q and 10K is that there are a lot of things that you can't find on Morningstar. And when I say Morningstar, I basically mean numbers. You have a lot of centrals like Yahoo Finance, Morningstar, MSN Money, and what they're doing is that they're giving you a lot of information for free in terms of key ratios. And all these key ratios, as we just saw, and the financial statements, they bring a lot of good information to you. But what they don't do is that they don't provide you with a qualitative analysis. So when I say that, I mean, how can we locate a moat? And you really need to dig into the 10Q and 10K to find that and to search for yourself, because a moat is the competitive advantage that they have. I made another video about how to locate a moat, and I will make sure to link that in the description to the video below. But basically, you can't read that out just of pure numbers. You need to take a closer look at the company. And the same can be said about valuing management. Of course, you can say that if a company has really great numbers, that would be reflected in the 10K and the 10Q. But I also think that it's really neat to evaluate the management in terms of what they're saying. And you can read that in the report. So what is their expectations to the future? You might go back and look at what have they been talking about in the past. Have they met the goals that they have set up? So all the things that you can't find on Morningstar and just in the numbers, you need to dig that in yourself. So always when you're done with the initial research, start digging into the qualitative analysis in the 10Q and in the 10K. So James, I hope this was useful. As always, for you out there, if you have any questions, please tweet to me at stick_brodersen. You also had a chance to give me some feedback or send me an email if you have any question at asktheinvestors.com. I'm looking forward to returning with great answers to great questions.